Welcome to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson. You know, a while back at Plan 9 Crunch, we talked about a film called Valley of the Zombies. It was released by Republic. Republic made several Poverty Row horror films, not a lot. They mostly made westerns. But we're going to look at another one they made in 1945 called The Vampire's Ghost. It's a movie that's only about 59 minutes long, but it has an interesting take on the vampire. This vampire looks like Don Knotts' cousin, to be honest. He's played by John Abbott, and his name is Webb Fallon. And he runs a tavern in deepest, darkest Africa. And well, let's get an introduction to him right now, Jack, all right, in this Republic film. That is the vampire, Webb Fallon.
Devil himself couldn't have such luck.
Hey, you.
Hey, everybody! The drinks are on me! Hey! Hey! Come on over here! Hey!
That sailor, he'll make trouble.
Go and dance, Lisa.
Hello, Fallon.
Well, Mr. Kendrick.
Pretty rough on the guy, weren't you?
Oh, I didn't ask him to play. Well,
Boxcars.
you didn't come here to shoot craps at me or drink my bad gin. What's on your mind, Mr. Kendrick?
Well, a lot of people come to your place, Fallon. All kinds of people. I thought you might know something about these mysterious killings.
Yeah, but Kunda seems to have gone back into the old ways, in spite of the Father Gilchrist and all they can do. Well?
Nobody could shoot a game like you as a straight dice, Fallon. I want my money back, and my ship, too. Take it easy, fella. I draw the dice myself. They're straight.
Stay out, Mr. Kendrick.
Okay, Jack, thanks. You notice that look Webb Fallon gives. And for being a rather slight guy, it looks like he's more at home in an Agatha Christie mystery or something. He's got a good right cross. He knows how to fight. He is probably the most uniquely off genre, off stereotype vampire you'll see in a film. And the people with him were Roy and Julie, you saw at the beginning. Julie is the daughter of a missionary there in Africa, and Roy is he's involved in business there, and they're engaged. And there's a whole bunch of murders happening, and people don't know why. Particularly African Americans are being killed. And Fallon has only been there recently. Fallon is the vampire. We'll find out much sooner. The author and scholar Frank Delestrito, in this book right here, A Quaint and Curious Volume of Forgotten Lore, he devotes some time to the vampire's ghost in one of his essays about vampire films in the early 40s. And I want to read what he wrote about this vampire. Okay. The ascent of the sympathetic vampire continues in The Vampire's Ghost, one of the more distinctive efforts from low-budget producer Republic Pictures. What Dracula feels in House of Frankenstein is spoken by this movie's vampire. Webb Fallon does not much so bemoan his curse as recite it. He gives no hint of satisfaction or remorse in his ruminations. Fallon, a former sea captain, owes as much to the ancient mariner as Dracula, for he often reflects on his fate. Years ago, there was a young woman. I caused her death. Since that time, I've been under a curse, the curse of the undead. Young people like you and Julie, I destroy them. I cannot die. I live on, destroying peace and happiness. You can't fight me. I have walked the earth for 400 years. I have learned things that no human being can ever know. And then he goes on and says, this has all happened before. It will all happen again, no matter where I go, until the end of time. As Della Streeter writes, he then gives a peek into his lonely soul. A man may follow that path forever if he chooses. He need not walk alone. We could walk that path together, Julie. We could visit worlds no human has ever seen. And back to Della Streeter, he hopes that each conquest will be his last, but his curse permits no such peace. John Abbott's imperturbable vampire survives only as a attached observer to his own unending existence, truly moved by a power other than himself. Fallon will always maintain a wary serenity. He is implacable. He reminds me a little bit of Dracula's daughter, the vampire there, who is as much fatalist as anything else. He knows what he needs. He knows what he wants. He knows what's going to happen over and over. Now, remember, we talked about Roy and Julie. I want to go to a scene that tells us a little bit more about Fallon, okay? Right now, Jack. That is Father Gilchrist.
Tom, a glass of water.
It's all right, please. I'm sorry. I had a touch of malaria once. These attacks are quite frequent.
Simon Peter, coffee for Mr. Fallon.
Oh, please, just be seated over there. I'll be all right in a moment. Let's talk about something else. Yes,
Okay,
I will
Jack.
have some coffee.
See, Fallon's an interesting vampire. He can walk around in daytime, although he usually needs some dark glasses. And he was touched by a priest, Father Gilchrist. And you saw the effect just being touched by the priest did to him. It wore him out. He keeps his cool, though, and just tells people he's feeling poorly. Grant Withers plays, who was in The Incredible Shrinking Man, plays the father. So what's interesting about this is Webb Fallon is respected by everyone. No one really suspects he's the vampire. Now, this movie is kind of has drums going. This movie's kind of corny at times, but I think it's taken the vampire, makes it a good cult film. The natives are doing drums, and apparently they're trying to figure out who the vampire is, and they're starting to suspect Fallon, perhaps accurately, right? But right at this point in the movie, though, he's someone who they look to for wisdom and things like that. This movie was also, the story was devised and written by Leigh Brackett. Now, if you know the Star Wars genre, Brackett was a famous writer who drafted the original screenplay of The Emperor Strikes Back. And she's credited in that movie, although much of it was changed. She died around that time also. But she was just working, in low-budget Hollywood back then. She had fond memories of this film. She kind of laughed it off and said it was just, a lark and things like that. But I think that also contributes to the fact that it has a strong screenplay. Jack, let's see another scene right now, okay?
You're seeing a creature that doesn't exist. You're looking at a legend. The natives knew. As soon as they saw the first body, the first victim, they knew what creature it is that must have human blood to live. Stay, Roy. Listen to me. 400 years ago, there was a young woman. I caused her death. Since that time, I've been under a curse. The curse of the undead. Young people like you and Julie, I destroy them.
I cannot die. I live on and on to destroy peace and happiness. No, Roy. Put down the spear. Put it down. You can't fight me. I have walked the earth for 400 years. I've learned things that no human being can ever know. No man is strong enough to fight me. Kneel. What do you see? Only your eyes. Do you hear me? I hear you. Your mind belongs to me. From now until the day you die. You will never speak of this. Never.
never speak.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So that was a scene where he goes out with Roy just as part of Roy's job, and we didn't see the part, but one of the natives tries to kill him. And when Roy takes out the spear, he sees that there's no blood or anything on it, okay? And then he realizes something's very odd about Mr. Webb Fallon. And Fallon uses his vampire powers to sort of keep him under control. And eventually Roy, frankly, is very sick for the most of this movie, unable to do anything to protect Julie, because Fallon makes it very clear that he wants his girlfriend. And Fallon, believe it or not, is a rather sympathetic vampire despite these unholy aims he has. He doesn't seem to enjoy what he's doing. He just has to do it. And as we mentioned earlier, he knows he's going to do it over and over and over and over and over again. I want to take us to one more scene. I think this might be the last one we watch from this movie, so it gives you an idea of its atmosphere and everything. Jack, can you do that?
Very kind to spend so much of your time here.
You've been very kind to let me. You are tired, Julie. I'll stay with Roy.
Thanks.
Oh, Julie. I almost forgot. I have something for you.
Oh, it's beautiful. But
Please. Being here in this house has given me a new interest. Showed me a side of life I am not accustomed to. I'm grateful. Go and rest, Julie.
you're one of the nicest people I've ever known.
Fallon.
I'm glad you're awake. Your book came, Roy. I can save you the trouble. The chapter you want begins on page 97. The cross has great power over the undead. They cannot bear its paralyzing touch. But the undead can be completely destroyed in only one way. The body must be consumed with fire and the ashes scattered. Did you really think that you could destroy me?
I heard you just now with Julie. That's why you've been coming here. To be with her.
Maybe it is, Roy.
You destroy happiness. People like Julie and me. You come between them and destroy them. You told me that yourself at night out in the jungle. Let us alone, Fallon.
I like it here. I like Julie. One day soon, she'll join me in eternal life.
You can't, Fallon. I'm telling Father Gilchrist. I'm telling him that...
Okay, Jackie, you want to go now. I like that shot because you got him on the bed. Roy was played by Charles Gordon. Julie's played by Peggy Stewart. And I think I mentioned Father Gilchrist is played by Grant Withers. I like the fact that Fallon's looking at him from the shot and you see the power structure right there. Once again, Webb Fallon is an interesting vampire. He sleeps in a bed but keeps the soil from where he was from in a box next to his bed. So this was kind of a different type of vampire that Republic gave us. And he's every bit as dangerous as Lugosi perhaps, but he's just so ordinary looking. And he has this, like I mentioned, this ruthless determination built more on fate rather than his desire to possess anyone. He made a mistake, he has to live it, and he has to live it over and over and over. Eventually, I won't give you the end of this movie, but Roy is given some help from Father Gilchrist, and the natives tend to get closer and closer to finding out who's killing all these people. Also in this film is a starlet of the time named Adele Mera, who is a beautiful dancer. I think Mera was at one time married to Leo Gorcey, and she might even be in a Bowery Boy movie or two. And Roy Barcroft, we saw him in the first clip when he was trying to challenge Fallon. They end up doing some mischief, and they pay for it later in the movie. The Vampire's Ghost has a Blu-ray, although I think the Blu-ray is out of print now, so you have to buy it on eBay or used copies on Amazon. For years, I couldn't find this film. When I read this Curious Following Forgotten Lore, I actually read this article in Cult Movies Magazine. This is a collection of various articles. I searched high and low to try to find The Vampire's Ghost. And I couldn't for a long time. Now it's ubiquitous. You can pick it up on YouTube easily, probably on Internet Archive as well. And I may someday try to get a tape of the movie because I enjoy watching it. It's not a great film, but it's a unique film, and it's developed a small cult for that reason. So we hope you take a chance after you watch this. We'll send you, just go over to YouTube, watch the movie. It'll take an hour every time. You'll enjoy it. Different type of vampire movie, a poverty row film. I'm Doug Gibson. This is Plan 9 Crunch. You can subscribe to us at Plan 9 Crunch. You can like us at TikTok and also Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog on YouTube. And you can go to our blog in which I have reviewed The Vampire's Ghost at plan9crunch.com. Thank you very much, and that's a wrap.